Hello everyone, welcome to LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, or should I say welcome back. I actually don't know how this is going to go down, because I do all this ahead of time and then we schedule later, so either it has been a single weekend that I've returned, or it has been a couple weeks since I last LEGO Star Wars'd with you all. But now we are ready to take on the original trilogy of Star Wars. I've watched Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope the other day. It was Episode 4 because I don't have access to the original theatrical cut. I know there's that amazing version that has been made, but I don't have it. Shoot him. Padme, take him out. I'm Stormtrooper now. These brawls are so ridiculous. So 6 episodes as usual, and we're going to begin with the first one. I don't actually know. As I said during the last videos, I actually don't know what. You know, what was I going to say? I don't know what the levels really are in the second half of this game. Like, I played them once, but that's the only time, and I don't have as much memory of them. The same way I don't really have as much innate memory of the original trilogy films, even though I know them, and I've seen them a couple times, but when I was a kid, the prequel trilogy were out, and that was all the things that occurred there. Like, the wider media was all clones all the time. I'm just going to jump a bunch, which is weird. It means like folks like General Grievous became iconic through sheer force of will of marketing. But here we go. Let's play Chapter 1, Secret Plan. So it's going to be on the Tantive 4? I don't know. Hey, Jimmy Smith's ship. Last time, in between recording this episode and the last one, I got hit with a copyright claim on one of the videos, specifically the one of Episode 3, Chapter 2, for some reason, because I didn't talk enough during this bit. I didn't talk over the Star Wars music, so right now I'm talking over the Star Wars music because I have to. But anyway, that's enough of that. It's the period of Civil War. So, I watched a new... Come on, I'm going to skip this as soon as it shows all the text, because I'm worried about getting a claim again. Should be okay. That scroll is longer than any of the scrolls in the other thing. Okay, here we go. The opening of Star Wars. Those are some pretty big Lego bricks. Okay, so I'm playing as Leia and a random rebel soldier, and we begin the game. I like that these games have such quiet beginnings. Usually every level has a nice quiet beginning to allow you to get used to the environment. It's cool. So I watched A New Hope last night, and it's really, really good. I don't think I've ever enjoyed it as much as I did last time. Like, I've never been a massive Star Wars guy, and I've always thought that film was, you know, all right, but I didn't think it was like exceptional or anything. I thought it was an okay movie. But no, I watched it. I was like, this is really fucking good. I think for the first time, I got Star Wars. I got why it was such a massive thing, because my sci-fi tastes have always been different. Star Wars a little bit more introspective. I don't mean to say better and smarter, because that's what people normally would say, and I don't mean that. I just mean that my tastes are different. Star Wars is a good movie. There's no, like, no one should be shitty about folks who like Star Wars, because it's clearly a really well-made film. With, like, good things to say, for the most part. I think the stuff I find gross about Star Wars is barely in the first movie, like the Chosen One bullshit. It's not really there. It's there a little bit, but barely. And lots of things surprised me about that film, watching it this time. Open the doors. Namely, first, just how good it looked. Like, in my head, what I remembered about the original trilogy is that I enjoyed... Oh, shit, they're coming. Yeah, is that Oh, shit, come on. You can actually see quite a bit of difference in running animation. Her running animation is way more specific to her. The way she holds the gun is different. You can tell this game was made for the 360 and not the original Xbox, as Lego Star Wars, the first game, was. But yeah, the film looks amazing. From all the sets are really stark, and this, like, it's got this beautiful 70s tone, because of course it was made in the 70s. It's, even though I remember in Star Wars, like, it's similar to Jaws in a way, in that in my head it is the beginning of this, like, blockbuster trend, and even though it is that, it's still very much a movie from 1977. Jaws was 75, but it has that quality to it. Even though obviously it's like harkening back to being a 1930s serial, it feels incredibly of its time. And I guess in a way the prequels do. The prequels feel so early 2000s that it hurts. That all they're missing is like ooh-wah, and then that would be it. And I could see Anakin going ooh-wah. Shit. Yo, get me that blue bit. Thank you. This game's so calming. But it looks fantastic. It begins with that, like, the incredibly iconic opening shots, which I love. Like, they've been explained. It's been explained by many people far smarter than me why they are so good. And, like, the amount of information it conveys in, like, a single shot. Like, oh, good guys, bad guys. Bad guys big, good guys small. Oh shit, that's Darth. He's called Darth in this movie. There's no concept of, like, Sith Lords or the amount. It's actually scary how little Star Wars is in Star Wars. Like, shut the thing. Do it. Now Darth Vader's... He's trying to capture me. Whatever. Who cares? Anything to break? No, I can't break anything. Jumping a lot. Only bounty hunters can access this area. It's cool. Can't remember where I was. I was talking about how good the film looked and that it was of its era. And it is. All of those things. Like, it's an incredibly, what's the word, like, assured and functional blockbuster. In the way the prequel trilogy definitely isn't. Like, it works to get you to care that Luke's stayed behind. It works to get you to care about Luke's plight. It works to get you to care about, like, everything that happens. It's like, the scene where Lars and Owen, it's Owen, Lars, Owen and Baru, sorry, say no, you can't go on this. You can't go train to be in the Rebel Alliance. You have to stay here and work with the work on the farm. Is sad. It's a sad scene. You care that Luke gets to run away. You care that he has his journey and has an adventure, and it gets you invested in that. In a way that, like, the only moments that come close to that in the prequel trilogy are, like, maybe the things with Anakin and his mum in the first movie. Like, it's not on the same level of being functional at all, but it's, like, almost. I don't want him to be just owned by Watto all his life. I do want him to get away, I guess, but... So that was cool, but, like, on top of that, it begins with a 20-minute half unrelated comedy about droids. Like, it doesn't, even though it's set, so, like, every blockbuster that has come since on some level has been trying to be Star Wars, but it's so different from them, and because it set templates more than it actually, like, followed them, it ended up the interesting and the parts where it deviates from what Star Wars has, like, become and is thought of as some of the most interesting parts of the movie, because the, like, short play with R2-D2 and C-3PO that is the first act of that movie, like, there's no other character showing up, and C-3PO's in the rest of the movie, but he's not the main character, and he doesn't really have anything to do with anything, apart from just come along for the ride and be funny. And they dedicate so much time to that, and there's, like, the scene... which way do I go? This way? There's, like, the scene, That's good. That's good stuff. There's, like, the scene with, what's it? What was I going to say? It was the scene... Hey, flowers, yo! I completely forgot the scene. I was about to mention a scene, but I forgot what scene it was. Let's get all this money. Yeah. Getting paid. Oh, yeah, I remember. There's the scene in that Jawa transport with all the droids, and it's just droids looking at each other and talking to each other in droid language. It doesn't really... It's there because it's there, and it's those moments where it deviates from just being a 3-act hero's journey that give it this flavour and this texture. So my favourite thing about Star Wars, that first movie as a movie, is, like, the way that it, like, suggests a wider universe. Not that it has one, but that it implies it and allows you to imagine it in this really honest and cool way. I'm gonna see when I watch Empire in a couple of days, but the thing that almost ruins Star Wars for me, not ruins, but the thing that robs Star Wars of its impact and to me is the fact that it is the like, that movie is the start of a massive universe. That when you watch that first movie, it's so strange to think of Star Wars as a cultural concept and this, like, myth in a modern sense. Like, everyone knows what Star Wars is, and everyone kind of knows both the story of the original trilogy and the prequels because it's become this common cultural thing. Oh, hey, it's a tutorial for how these doors work. I always forget this is actually the first level in a new game. That's pretty good, can't lie. Oh, it's Antilles. I didn't realise it was, like, Wedge. As you can see, the jumping animation is completely different and the height is different. Let me in. I've already got True Jedi, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I remember this puzzle. This was really annoying. But things like Darth Vader as a character, things like the Force, are made so much more powerful by the fact that you don't know anything about them. And like I've said on these videos, that one of the things I enjoyed about the like I actually appreciate about the prequel trilogy, or is one of the many inadvertently things that could have been good about it, but actually it wasn't intentional in any way, is the idea of like midichlorians, what have you. Go in the pit. Like the idea of demystifying that, of like taking a series that was defined by its lack of knowledge about it and saying, hey, when you take that away, it was just this real society. That's not what the prequels were, but if they, well, they could have been, I guess. Let's go across. Rebel friend. That's good. It's got to be an R2 jump. Oh, I've got to just pick C-3PO and take him across, right? Yeah. C-3PO, wait there. C-3PO, wait there. Thank you. Okay, it knows. Let's go back. But there's so many things in Star Wars that don't match up with the idea of what Star Wars is. Like, the Force itself is this just thing. It's not explained, it just is. And it isn't even like that. I don't even know what it does. It's just there, and it can be whatever you whatever you watching actually like want it to be. Like, Star Wars is a perfect movie for a kid because it gives all these ways in which you can like insert yourself into it. You can just be one with the Force if you believe. You can be Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is like the perfect insert character, specifically for a young guy. Like, Star Wars is actually an incredible 3-generation movie. If you're a specific kind of guy, it's a very masculine movie. But like, you got Luke, who's when you're a kid, you want to escape, and you don't want to be treated like a kid anymore, and you want to go save the galaxy. And then when you're a bit older and you want to be cool and rebellious and not, you know, loser, and there's Han for that. And then when you're, you know, older than that and you want to be like wise and mentally, there's Obi-Wan. Like, it has all of those, and that's one of the ways it's got such a wide appeal, is that as an aspirational power fantasy, not power fantasy, as an aspirational fantasy. I'm so used to saying power fantasy because video games, but yeah, as an aspirational fantasy, it works on multiple levels. There we go, we made it. Come on. Got us across. Only stormtrooper can access this area. Do I have a stormtrooper generator? No. Oh, this is going to be the escape pod. But like, also things like the Old Republic, the Senate. All these things aren't. They're mentioned in the movie, but in such an like, you don't know what they are, and they're there so you can imagine what they are. Star Wars's hints at a wider universe are only there in order to give it a certain tone, a certain, you know, 30s serial tone. It's not an actual. It doesn't feel like it was ever intended to be an actual universe. Maybe it was. I don't know what was actually in George Lucas's head, and he's retconned his own history so much that we will never know the truth. But it doesn't feel like it's meant to be a real thing. It feels like it's there to be this generic idea for you to imagine, for you to imagine yourself into. Let's shoot everything. The Clone Wars. Like, I was talking with Matt on Twitter about this, and probably the best line in all of Yeah, of course. Good job, video game. Oh, hey. Go through. Yeah, there we go. C3 was gonna opens up. Cool. I was saying something, but I completely forgot. It was probably about Star Wars. I'm gonna say. Oh yeah, I was talking about the best line. I'm gonna wait here and talk about this before we go. It was the best line in all the Star Wars, which is when Obi-Wan says to Luke, he says, "I was a father. I fought alongside your." I can't remember what the original the line preceding is, but he's talking about the Old Republic and his dad and Luke's dad and the Empire and everything, and he says, but that was before the Dark Times, before the Empire, and it is one of the most evocative lines ever, because you don't know what the Dark Times and the Empire are, but an old man wistfully saying is more effective than any amount of movies of backstory could ever be. Any visual or actually feel sometimes not being there is key to the way the experience actually unfolds, and I feel like Star Wars is one of those ways. No human being, even after I assume some point in 1980, can really go back, or 81, whatever Empire came out, can really go back to a time when Star Wars was just that, because so many things in Return of the Jedi and Empire came out of ideas that weren't in Star Wars, and that universe started having all its gaps filled in and became more of a way more expanded real thing, and the toys, and it was a cultural icon and everything. But I can't imagine what it was like just watching it for the first time. That must have been really cool, and it's an experience no one can have. For some reason, the movie in my head that I assume is similar to this, but never caught on in a massive way, is watching Dark City for the first time. I'm assuming that's what the original Star Wars experience was like. Dark City's pretty good. It's just the movie I was thinking of. It feels about 2 hours shorter than all the prequel movies do, even though it's only 10 minutes shorter. It moves. It's paced and structured so well. And I feel really shitty for not looking this up. I know that a lot of Star Wars' success and its structure and editing and pacing is due to, is it Marcia Lucas? It's George Lucas's wife. I will look it up and make sure to mention this in another episode, because she's been written out of history, out of Star Wars history. They don't mention her, but she is pivotal to these movies not being trash. Totally pivotal. Anyway, we're going to go to the cantina for now. That was a good episode. That was a good level. I like that level. Coming from just watching old Star Wars is making all the bits where it's like, hey, it's the bit where the Jawas shoot R2-D2, and hey, it's the bit where Leia puts the disc inside R2-D2, and making me weirdly nostalgic, even though I've just watched it. I've reminded myself. Star Wars is a good movie. This is what I have to say. Thank you very much, though. I'll be back tomorrow as we go through the Jundland Wastes. How many? Jundland Wastes is episode 2, so episode 3 must be the spaceport, I assume. Episode 4 will be the Death Star. Episode 5 I assume there's 2 Death Star levels. Okay, yeah. Maybe it doesn't have 1,000 set pieces like the prequels do. It just has the story that unfolds. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you soon with more LEGO Star Wars.